And we're live. The first Wavecast ever. The first of many. So I'll give it a few moments for more of you to join. There's only one of you there. Got Christopher, Carlos. So go into the chat and test out the chat. This is the first time I've been using this like live streaming from the Lions community. So we've got Christopher, Carlos, Carolis, Janus, Tony. Go in the chat, say hello. Hey, Christopher. I'm tempted to do that annoying thing of eating these blueberries while I'm live streaming, but as much as I enjoy that, I don't think that's what you guys are here for. Right. So this is the first time we're doing this. So while I'm speaking, I'm getting messages from people saying, "Oh, how do I access it?" Because there's also, for some of you, it's the first time using the Lions community. So let's have a look. I might have to sort of just, pop out and just sort of message people and say, "Oh, here's what you've got to do. You've got to request to join the Wave Counters community." So yeah, Robin just asked, "How do we access the Wavecast?" You need to be in the Wave Counting group, request access, and Shaman will let you in. Cool. All right, I'm going to let Shaman take over that side of things now, and I'll get with you guys. So let's go back to you guys. Cool. So yeah, Christopher, Janus, good evening. Hey, Carolis. Hey, Carlos. Hey, Tony. He says, I hope you're well. Yeah, I'm very well. Janus says accessing the Wavecast was not straightforward. Was that because my instructions were shit, or you're just using the platform for the first time? Because it's the event. It's in the events, right? And I just go live inside the platform, and you can't really. There's no link or anything. You just wait for me to go live. As soon as I go live, it shows up as live, right? But we'll get the hang of it. Hey, Marcus. Tony says, for your information, the link in events calendar didn't seem to work. Yeah, I can choose what that link is, and that link just goes into it. It's like a self-referencing link. It just goes to the event, or I think it goes to a topic inside the Wave Counters group. But the link itself, you can't actually access the live stream. You just wait for me to go live, and then it appears as I'm live. And this is like inside the platform, So we'll work it out. Right, we'll work it out. Jenny says, I managed to open this video from the notifications list on the top right. Yeah, it worked out. It's all good. But I'm sure we can do better. So we'll give it a few seconds for more people to arrive, and then I think I'll just jump into to TradingView, and I'll show you what I'm looking at. We can do some wave counts together. I can answer questions from you guys. Daniel says, hey, all, nice to see you all this great Monday. Yeah, man. So we've got 10 people here live now. And that's good enough, man. Let's crack on. So cool. All right. So what do you guys want me to do? There's a few options here, right? The first thing is I can just go into TradingView, and we can just go and look at Bitcoin. And there's some interesting recent price action that invalidated a wave count that I shared this morning. So we can just go and see what I do when so we need to perform a wave count. We need to relook at things, and you can just watch me do it live, and then I can come back to the chat every so often and see what questions you guys have. But when I go into TradingView, I'm not going to see the chat. But in the future, I'll have a second screen, and in that screen, I'll have the chat, and that I can do it a bit more seamless. Corolla says, "What's happening with Lunar Classic?" Yeah, we can have a look at that. Any requests? We can jump in, but it takes a long time to perform a full wave count on something. So you're not going to get any kind of any trading suggestions or anything on something brand new. Nor would I ever make trading suggestions, because, as you know, this is not financial advice, and you have to make your own decisions. Right, I'm hearing lots of pings. Let me just have a quick look, see if someone's desperate to come in to the Wavecast. I like the name, by the way, the Wavecast. Tony says, I can't seem to join. Groups, wave counters. Shaman will approve you. Cool. Sorry guys, I'm getting pinging. So that's something that might be a little bit annoying. I'll have to correct that. I think no, what is it? I think I've got another window open. That's why I'm getting the pings. Yeah, I do. Okay, let's close that window. So now I shouldn't hear the pings. I should hear I should just see you guys. Tony says, yep, would be great to see BTC, thoughts on charts and rough wave count. Robin says, I'm in. Oh, nice. Well, welcome, Robin. Nice, you got in. And so yeah, you're typing something, Daniel. In fact, what I think I can do is if I join from my phone, I should be able to see the chat on my phone, and that I can stay inside TradingView without kind of, going back and forth and being distracted. So I think, yeah. So if I go live there, join as viewer. Okay, so if I join there, yeah, that's perfect. So I can see the chat now. Let's just turn the volume down so I can't hear my beautiful voice. Sweet, nice. Okay, let's go into TradingView, and then I'll keep checking the chat, so I will see anything you say. We've got 14 people here so far, and in the future, I'm sure that might end up as hundreds. We'll see. All right, so let's experiment now with sharing my screen. Share screen. Window. All right, so let me know if you can see my screen. I've just noticed that my battery's on 13%. So while you're hitting me up in the chat and let me know you can see my my TradingView, I'm going to just plug my laptop in. Cool, you can see it. Nice. So at the moment we're looking at a bit of a broken wave count, because as you can, well, I'll get onto it in a second. All right, let's plug ourselves in. There we go. And we have power. All right. Okay. So you can all see the screen. Okay. So when I posted this wave count this morning, because I'm turning it into a morning routine, right? So let me just turn off all my other apps and things that keep pinging me. There we go. So we won't be disturbed. So when I did this wave count this morning, so I'm this is like a new routine for me. Every morning I'm coming into TradingView and performing a wave count with the view of sharing something. So trying to keep something relatively ordered and neat, so I know I'm going to be presenting this, and I think it'd be a nice habit, and it'd be really nice for you guys. Hang on a second. Sorry, Shaman is messaging me, and I've told Shaman to let people in if they request access. Can't find the link to connect to the Wavecast stream in the group. When I click on the video link, okay, 1 second. Hey mate, yeah, there's no actual link to the live stream. Once you're in the Wave Counters group, it will just show up in the activity feed, right? It'll be there, and also, yeah, so it will just show us live, and you can join. So just tell them to go once they're in Wave Counters group, then they go to the activity feed and they can see it there. And there should be, you can see there, like inside events, you can see there's like a live icon. So when they go into the events inside Wave Counters, they'll see the event and they'll see where they can. There should be like a link saying like join live. I think that's right, guys. I'm telling Shaman what to do to when people respond saying they're not, they can't get in. So I'm sending that to Shaman now. So yeah, cool. All right. So this is what I'm going to be doing every morning now, giving you guys a wave count. Now I want you all to take these wave counts with a pinch of salt, because these aren't like wave counts where I've spent all day, like really going deep. You can see here the wave count hasn't got that many degrees. It's just like an overview, right? To look at the current state of things and what it seems like is going to happen. And now, hit me up in the chat. Let me know which of you have completed Module 18. And I know a lot of you haven't even got access to Module 18 yet. And that's fine. But hands up who's completed Module 18. And Module 18 is talking about Andrew's median lines, which are these pitchfork things here. But I'm assuming a lot of you, because you're in the pandas and the Eagles groups, and in fact, the Eagles have only got access to, or they're only getting access to Module 18, I think, in a couple of days. So obviously that's a definite no. But has anyone, or just say no in the chat. Say like, nope, I don't have access to Module 18. I'm seeing no activity in the chat right now. Am I still connected? I'm getting no activity in. Oh yeah, here we go. Shirley says no. Hold on, I'm on 17. Okay, so yeah, I don't think anyone in the chat is on Module 18. So for now, just kind of go with me, and just know that it will make sense once you've gone through the when you get to Module 18. Christopher says he's on Module 12. So yeah, you've got a bit more to go. So so we saw this. Well, if I just zoom out for a second, right? The primary wave count, my favorite right now, if I zoom out just a little bit more, we've got Bitcoin in a, this was, in fact, if I zoom out even more and just get rid of some other indicators here, let's get rid of those. In fact, we'll just get rid of the volume as well. So we've got this big complex wave 4. Remember that it kind of started June of this year, and it just went on for June, July, August, and then kind of mid-August is when this ended. And this was a big fourth wave correction. And this fourth wave correction, if we zoom out even more, this is the big bear market we're in, right? And this, the current wave count, the present primary, this is the end of a great cycle, right? And this entire fifth wave started down here. Oh no, it started before then. Sorry, it started right down here, which is back in December 2018. So the third wave of this macro wave count these markers are when I was looking. I'm creating screenshots for the course, right? I'm looking for, I'll draw these things, I'll take a screenshot and I'll put it in the course. That's what these are for. Let me just turn those off. Actually, I think there's a folder somewhere. No, they're just here. Okay. So the wave 3 was the $20,000 high that at the end of 2017, right? Just under $20,000. That was wave 3. That's what is the favorite wave count. And then the wave 4 that went all the way down here, and this entire move, wave 1, wave 2, and wave 2 was finished by that pandemic crash that we had in March of 2020, and then the great climb up to wave 3, 4, and then 5 of the final fifth wave, and that completes an entire cycle, literally, right? The cycle degree. And that means, if that is correct, what that means is that we are in a wave 2 of the great cycle. And so far we've plotted an A and a B, and we're in the middle, not in the middle, but we are in the process of the C unfolding. And the C, as you know, is a 5-wave impulse move always. So the 5 waves are broken down by this degree here in the sort of the reddy pink, and that is the minor degree. I've got wave 1, 2, and then the 3 ends down here. So we've got wave 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's the 3, and then that's the fourth wave correction here that we went through, and then now we're on the final push down into the final fifth wave, which will complete that C wave. So if I go down again, and just zoom out. So that's the fourth wave there. And then we've been tracking this down. And I'm pretty sure all the I don't know if you're going to go as far as calling them trade setups, but whenever I've posted, trades, they've all been shorts. I'm a big proponent of trading with the trend, and in a downward market, like, yeah, you can find like some long positions, and I think some, yeah, sorry, I did post a long position here, so it is fine to do these like long positions in the downtrend if they're kind of very short term, but other than that, it's best just to stay with the trend. So we've got first wave, second wave. So in this degree here, my minuet degree. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and that completes wave 1 of this wave 4, wave 1. And we were expecting a wave 2, and then you get a really big wave 3 down. And I think one of my wave counts was suggesting maybe that is wave 2. What makes that slightly problematic is one of the rules that rules might be a strong word, right? It's more of like it's more about probabilities. And you might have heard me say that a correction is unlikely to be shorter in duration than the prior impulse moves corrections. So the longest of the prior impulse moves corrections, there's a high probability that if one of these corrections is longer in duration than this higher degree correction, the chances are that this correction is not completed yet. So if I just get like a really rudimentary tool and we look at the width of, what did we look at? I think even this is like an even lower degree correction, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'd be looking at like wave 2 and 4. So if we measured like this correction here, then we're actually doing okay, because this correction is, let's say, that wide, and then this correction here is longer, and that's fine. But then we've got an even lower degree correction here, and this is only a touch, like literally a hair, maybe 1 bar longer in duration. It's kind of pretty much the same. So, which means it's kind of okay. It's not shorter than any of these corrections, but it's not really kind of making it like clearly, longer in duration. And if we look at this in terms of how much it's retraced this entire first wave, so we get the retracement tool and we see, okay, how much is this retraced? Let's just really grab all of that. Where is it? There we go. And we grab right down to the bottom there, and then we go to, all right, so it's retraced, 61.8. That's fine. It's retraced to 61.8, which is actually what you typically see with a wave 2. So at the time, I was like, okay, let's go with that being a wave 2. And we saw this really big, huge move down here, which we had a call yesterday with some of the other lines. And Robin, are you here? Robin pointed out that this exact same move happened with the S&P 500. So it wasn't just with Bitcoin; it was clearly across the board. But at the time, it's like, okay, we're expecting a third wave, and then boom, we get all this volume. We bring the OBV oscillator up. We get this, intense volume. So like, okay, fair enough. If this is wave 2, and this is wave 3 coming up, then yeah, we got some pretty sweet volume there. And then as this wave count started to unfold, it just started to look less and less like a third wave. Like, yeah, we've got this big volume here, but then this whole thing is all corrective. It's just all corrective, and it's like, okay. There's no wave 1 in here. Like we looked down into low degrees. It's just an entire move down. Well, tell a lie. There is like a little thing here. There's a little move there, right? So I think one of the wave counts I did was wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, and then this was a wave 4 triangle, right? And then a wave 4 correction, and then I was like, okay, well then this should be like like another, and then it just started to do this and started to just, it's very messy, very chaotic. And one thing I always say is, if you don't know what's going on, you're probably in a correction. If you don't know what's going on, you're probably in a correction. I mean, look, this is all corrective. And there are some moments of impulse structure, but generally looking at all this is all like a big old sideways correction. So so then I was updating the wave count, and I thought, you know what, looking back at this, I decided that this actually was a correction in itself with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it was an A and a B and a C. So this itself was a corrective pattern. And then I was like, well, we're expecting a wave 2. So I wonder if this is an A and this is all a B, right? Because that would explain the mess. If you don't know what's going on, you're probably in a correction. So if this is an A and this is a B, then this is a flat correction, right? Because if the B wave comes up to the level of the beginning of the correction and even exceeds it, that's either an expanding flat or a regular flat. It could be a running flat. In this case, it's exceeded it, so it could end up being an expanding flat, which means that the A, the B, and the C would come up higher than the A like this, or it's a running flat, which means we've got an A and a B, and the C would come up and stop, short of here. That's if this wave count is correct. So that's my current my current hypothesis, at least at the time when I did this wave count this morning. We've got wave 1 and the bearish nature of the market, which is kind of being, I think, influenced partly by this macro descending corrective channel we've got, which was created simply by it's just a descending channel, right? And so it's got a lot of history. It's really, really powerful, and that's why when price just got to the channel, that's when it broke down. And I posted this, actually. This was quite cool because this was an ending diagonal, and you guys know I love diagonals when it comes to, and look, this is a diagonal here. This is well, not a diagonal. This is a correction here. So there's I posted a trade opportunity here, This one paid off really, really well. So that's why I love triangle so much. And even here, this was like a sort of a triangle looking kind of formation. I posted a long position in the community there. And yeah, so it got to near this line, and then we saw divergence and this pattern, beautiful. And yeah, so that it would explain all of this as a correction, which is why it's crazy messy. And these tools here, right? These are called pitchforks, and they utilize a analysis methodology called Andrews median lines, and it's not named after me. It's a guy called Dr. Alan Andrews who discovered these based on the work of a guy called George Babson back in the 1920s. And George Babson was a guy who predicted the 1929 Wall Street crash, very publicly predicted it. And funnily enough, that crash, where that crash bottomed out and finally bottomed out, it was Ralph Nelson Elliott who very famously declared the bottom of that, because all these people were kind of around at the same time. Like the 1920s, the 1930s was a time of like technical analysis renaissance almost, with Babson, Andrews, Elliott. So you're going to learn about these in module 18. So yeah, I won't go into them now. It's a pretty intense deep module. By the way, while I'm talking, if anyone wants to hit me up in the chat with questions, let me know. I'm glancing down at my phone. But so the current wave count as of yesterday, we've got I've got an A and a B and a C, and that completes a high degree W, right? Because as you know, well, maybe you haven't got to double combos yet. Double combos, guys, remind me what module double combos are. Is that module 17? It might be, right? It might be the module just yeah. So Haldor says it's on module 17. So I think double combos are module 17. I think. Let me guys know in the chat if you know. Haldor says yeah, 17. So when you get to 17, we'll explore double combos. But it's just it's just corrections combined. So we've got an ABC, which creates a higher degree W, and we've got WXY, and that's like the W is a correction, the Y is a correction, and the X is a correction. So there's the W, here's the X, and you've got an A and a B and a C, right? If I turn on that, you can see A, B, C, and that completes the X wave. And then the A wave has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got a WXY inside the B wave, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the C. That completes the high degree X wave. And then this is when this triangle pattern started to emerge. We've got a really clean, what I thought was really clean, what is it? Oh no, sorry. This is the so we've got a W, an X, and I was in this wave count as of yesterday. I was expecting a W, an X, and I was expecting the Y to come down here. So this triangle was in the X position, and that's why it started here. So we've got A, B, C, D, E, and we did get this movement down outside the bottom of the triangle, right? So I got rid of it, but the short position was about there. I think it's in the and I placed the stop loss originally just above there, and the target was then kind of this median line was the target, right? So just you have to watch it and keep an eye on it, and that's what I posted, and then price came down, but it came down in a corrective fashion. It didn't come down in an impulse fashion. And I think the next morning when I checked, so today 26, so I checked it at about 10:30, 10 o'clock. No, the price had already gone up that time. Oh, okay, so this is UTC +1. I was 2 hours ahead, so my time it would have been, yeah, just before this jump. It would have been around here, right? So when I did the wave count this morning, it was about here, about there, right? Just a few bars before this move. So I saw this the price bouncing off this it's called a parallel median line. Again, you'll learn about it in module 18. And I was like, okay, well, it's developing downwards, but it is corrective. It is corrective. So I lowered the stop loss to, let me bring that back so you can see. So I think it was about there. I think you guys can check it. I'll make this a bit brighter so you can see. There we go. And so yeah, this is what it looked like roughly, something like that. And you can see this stop loss would have been a great stop loss because it gave lots of room, because the stop loss placed over the E there would have gotten caught out. So the stop loss above the much more I think important wave structure of the C, and given the profit target, that was still a beautiful reward to risk ratio. And when you get the triangle module, if you haven't gotten there yet, you know that I say that wave E can overshoot anyway. So so it's safer to go above the C. In this case, it would have been really really nice. And then as price developed, it came, I think, I forget the exact time frame, but at some point, yeah, this was a little bit higher because I remember it was about there, I think. So at some point, I lowered the stop loss here because from here the price came down, and then it's like, think about the chain of logic, the rationale. It's like, okay, my current wave count said that this is an X wave and this is an ABCDE triangle correction in the X wave, right? And the bottom trend line of the X wave of this triangle has been breached, and now we're traveling down. And the upper trend line, if that upper trend line is breached, like the price was down here, right? If the upper trend line here is breached, that's clearly messing with my what I've analyzed. I said it's broken out this triangle. If it kind of comes back in, then it means that something's not quite right. And also, and this is something you are going to learn later, I'm afraid, is that there was and this has risen up slightly, but this it's called point of control. It essentially means it's like historically there has been the most volume in the last, let's have a look, well, in this case in the last like 5 or 6 days, and it's risen up because there's been a lot of volume action up here, but this was actually just sitting below. It was actually sitting just below here. So it's another reason to place the stop loss above all that potential resistance, and that's something we're going to cover soon, but in a later module. That's what this kind of heat map that represents. It represents historic volume. So I thought it was given the fact that we are in a this is all corrective, very very safe to bring that stop loss down, and then it's a free trade. You can't lose. Once the stop loss is in a short position brought down below, you know, the entry, well, then it's a free trade. You cannot lose money at that point. And that's something that you need to do 100%. You don't just watch it go down and just leave it. You have to bring the stop loss up at key levels. And one thing, I think the last thing I even posted was that if this, yeah, you can see here, if the price broke down below this, what was I've labeled as the W wave, which is like the market structure before it turned around. If it breaks down below here, then I would not expect the price to then go above this X here, because if it's gone down lower, it's like a lower low. I would not expect it to then go and create a higher high. I'd expect it to keep creating lower lows and lower highs. So I would personally move the stop loss down to just above the X, because if it exceeds that, then it's doing something I'm not really expecting, right? And this is how you strategically lower your stop loss as the price falls to above the market structure that makes sense. But it didn't do that. It stopped short. And one thing you're going to learn in module 18 is something called Hagopian's rule. And that is what happens when you have this median line set up and the price doesn't reach the median line, because price has an 80% chance of reaching the median line once you have correctly identified the key pivot points. Again, I know, sorry, you're going to learn this in module 18. If it doesn't reach the median line, then there's a high probability that it's, and it also breaks out below, above the parallel upper median line, and then it also breaks out above this line, which is called Hagopian's line. There's a high probability that it's going to go up. It's going to go in the other direction, at least the distance that it's taken to head towards the median line. And I've already got it marked here, right? And that is this point here. So as it broke out of there, I wasn't looking at this. I was obviously working on other things, and it would have, you know, hit this stop loss. But if I was watching it, this would have been a perfect time to not just get out, but to go the other way, to open a long position, because of the probabilities of, if it doesn't reach this line, there's a high probability if it exceeds this line that it's going to reach at least this point here, which is sort of this distance times 100%. I think that's right. Oops. I think that's placed correctly. Sorry, let me just move that to the back. Visual order, center back, so I can grab that. Okay, yeah, there we go. From there, no, that's placed wrong. That should be there. Okay, so that means there's a high probability chance that it's going to reach to this level, which it does. So that's kind of me walking through, you know, so far what I was thinking about. But then we've got this new price action, this new stuff. So given this new stuff, let's have a little look. Let me have a little glass of water. Any questions so far, by the way? Any thoughts or questions, comments so far? We've got 21 people watching, which is nice. Or just give me a thumbs up. Just give me a thumbs up if you're all good. Just to carry on. If you can do thumbs up, I think you can do thumbs up, can't you? You can do smileys and things. But then again, I also don't know how delayed my phone is. Let me go. Yeah, it's not delayed. It's cool. All right. Hey, Shirley. Lots of thumbs up. All right, cool. Let's carry on. So, all right. Now I've been all like talking and stuff. Now, when I go into wave counting mode, I turn into a bit of an autistic savant. You'll hear me being like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wow, A, B, C. So forgive that, but that's just how that goes. So let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of this. Hey, Carlos. Lots of thumbs up. Robin says, when will you cover POC? It will be, because the module I'm working on now is more Andrew's median lines, but it's Andrew's median lines within corrections. It will probably be module 21, I think, but I'm not 100%, but most likely it'll be module 21, I think. All right, so so I look at wave counting like puzzle solving, you know, or like an escape room. How's that? How's that beeping working? I shouldn't be hearing that. Can you guys hear that? I've got, yeah, I shouldn't be hearing that because I'm in the live stream. So I'll probably turn off the notifications next time so it doesn't annoy you guys with that. So yeah, I see it as problem solving. It's like, okay, we've got some price action here. And what I'm going to do is just bring that up. This is all a mess. This is not, don't copy me. Be more organized than me. I'm just removing that for a second, just so we can. So I look at it like a puzzle. Let's get rid of that. And it's like, okay, well, if my current wave count has this as a WXY and this is a WXY, well, first of all, can that still be valid? Can that still be true, right? Could this be the Y? I mean, you've got a W. Could that be? Oh, yes, get rid of that. Could that be the X? I could actually, yeah, I can. There you go. I've muted the screen now, so you guys shouldn't hear that anymore. Could that be a WX and you know, some kind of upward moving Y? Yeah, could, you know, could. And then we've got a W 1, 2, 3 X, and then an A, B, C, D, E, maybe a Y there. But I mean, kind of weird, isn't it? Like this, you know, upward moving X. I think that'll be me kind of forcing that a little bit. WXY, and that would be the that would be the W like here, and then yeah, so that doesn't feel natural. And sometimes you might think, you know what, nothing feels natural inside this crazy correction, and that's when you would have a few different versions, and until you get a bit more confirmation in that to some degree validates one of your wave counts, then you just hold them side by side, and you would keep them organized in different folders, you know. But we haven't got time to do that today, so I'm just going to just kind of go with what I think is going to be a primary, and then I can sort of work on it a little bit more tomorrow morning and then present it. So I don't think this is offering much help anymore, this particular fork. So I think, yeah, we're not going to delete it. We'll just kind of stick it up here and we'll just hide it for now. Because when you're not sure what's going on, one thing you've got to be aware of is the wave count you perform is kind of like it creates a lens through which you are experiencing this chart, right? Because this price action doesn't have any of this. This is you've made this up. You've added this on top of it, right? So when you have your analysis that you've spent a lot of time on, it looks all beautiful with the colors, and you've got all these channels and lines and things. If the price action does something that you weren't expecting, it's a good idea to take a step back, and there's a little icon here you can turn your analysis off and on, because all of these lines are limitations you on your perception. They're limitations on your consciousness, on your awareness, and your ability to incorporate everything, which is rightfully so. When you've done your wave count, it is focusing in. It's like, okay, this is a channel. This is the price is moving in this trend. It's in a corrective pattern, which is obviously valuable because that is going to then lead to you arriving in these points in space and in time and price where you find what you perceive to be a high probability trading opportunity. So it's very, very valuable. But when price action does something different, all your analysis is a limitation on your ability to perceive. It's like railroad tracks, and you need to be able to expand in order. This is why I said it's like solving a problem. It's like problem solving. Well, if your current wave count isn't solving the problem, you need to be able to step outside the boundaries of your analysis. So it was Einstein said that in order to solve a problem, you've got to be able to step outside the limitations that created the problem, or something like that. The solution is outside the boundaries of that which created the problem. So this problem is kind of self-imposed. The price, look, with price, there is no problems. Price does what price is going to do. The price is having a great time. There is no problems. You know, there's no problems with the price. The price is just doing what the price is doing. People are buying, people are selling. Buying pressure is making the price go up. Selling pressure is making the price go down. There's no problems, right? Now there's a problem because now I've come along as a human being trying to work out what the hell is going to happen next. I'm creating the problem, right? So there is a problem here, but it's entirely self-imposed. So I've created the problem, and now I've got to create a solution. But to create the solution, I've got to be able to step back away from the problem which I created, right? So the problem I've created is, in fact, this. Do I need that? Yeah, I can hide that as well. We can get really clean with this just for now. We can slowly make it cleaner and cleaner. And yes, yeah, so we've got to just sort of take a step back and remove the blinkers from our eyes. Daniel says, how far down in your degrees are you doing trades? Well, when I'm trying to do the odd trade, whether simulated or live, while I'm doing everything with the course, I haven't got time to go very to do any kind of scalping, anything that requires a lot of attention, a lot of like going, like really paying attention to it. I have to focus on creating the course. So it's more what you saw me, what you saw me do, where it's like the trades up here. Well, this one in particular was just crazy. It just happened so fast. But this trade that I sort of planned here, this would have taken a few days to unfold. So this right here, this is the degrees, and this degree here we're on the, well, right now we're on the 30-minute, but I would play, you can go lower into the 15-minute, and then this degree here is the minuscule, which is kind of how low, as low as it goes. So hopefully that answers your question, Daniel, because I just don't have time to be glued to the screen. So anyway, so what I find very helpful is just to kind of just get rid of that for a second. Just get rid of it. Just remove your limitations and just look at it. Okay, so the first thing is like, okay, we're in a correction still, obviously. And now we've got this new price action. I was seeing a condensing in the shape and looked like a correction. And now price has come up. Now, what's interesting though is the triangle that I've created here was this potential X wave. Let's just get rid of that for a second, right? And I would say to when I'm talking to the team about this, the way it goes is you have a hypothesis, and then you test the hypothesis. It's almost like if you've got to unlock a door, right? And the only thing you can do is to sort of shave some bits off the key and try the key. And you think, okay, there's a bit of wiggle there. There's a bit of contact there. And you come back and you sort of change the key a little bit again. And it's like you have to start off with a hypothesis and you test the hypothesis, right? So if I kind of think I need to just get rid of, I kind of need to get rid of these, I think, right? Yeah. Well, we'll keep those for, we'll get rid of the lower degree ones, okay? I think, yeah, and get rid of that as well. So this was my hypothesis where we've got a WX and then a Y coming down here. That still might be the case. Let's start off with the where it might still be the case, right? Okay, let's move this over here. How would that work? Well, we would have the A, the B, the C, and then that would bring the D down there. And we can see this, that could be an A, B, C there, maybe. Again, just starting with hypothesis. But that would mean that we'd have a very, the E would blast out over the top of the triangle, which happens. Okay, that's that. We're just playing with that hypothesis for now. A, B, C, D, E, okay. And I guess we could do like that. So we've got A, B, C, D, E. Okay. So that wouldn't change too much. If that was the case, then let's go in closer. For this to be, okay, we've got to just break this down. So this hasn't changed. A, B, C, that hasn't changed. And we did have the D here. If that's the D, then that looks like an A, B, C. That looks like a WXY. That looks like a ABC. Yeah, ABC. So if we've got an ABC, then an ABC. I'm gonna just do this live. So if we've got, and some hypotheses will be dead ends. That's fine, but you have to just have a hypothesis and test it. So if you've got, what did I say? That's yeah. So that'd be a that could be a flat correction. I can't see it there. Okay, well let's just start with something that could be a running flat. So let's just call that an A and a B and a C. And what degree are we on there? That's a sub micro. So we haven't got much room left in terms of degrees, which that's fine. So that means we would have a W, X, and a Y, but that must be a lower degree. Let's get rid of that because we're just going to run out of degrees. So that means that would that be minuscule? WXY. So that means okay. So that would be an even lower degree, which doesn't actually exist. So we're going to just sort of cheat a little bit and just go down to there, and that means that would be a WX and a Y. Well, that makes sense with what I can see at least. So we've got a higher degree W, Y, and then that would go just under there, and that would be the minuscule degree, like so. And then so that's all corrective. So that D wave works with the WX and the Y, and we can go deeper. We can look at we can create a channel for that. And that, relatively all stays in the channel, which is, you don't have to, but it's always kind of what you would expect with a correction. And then we can look at Fibonacci relationships between the WX and Y, etc. So that's fine as a D. And then we've got this, it looks like 1, 2, 3 move in the E, but then we've got this kind of like corrective move immediately after. So if this was an E which broke out the top, and if this did complete the X that we're just going on what we were the previous wave count, well then look at this, look, 1, 2, 3, that looks corrective. We're kind of running out of detail. I don't want to go down to the 5 minutes because this is only a short live stream and we get too much into the weeds. But I mean, we can see this looks corrective. This even looks like it's developing into another bloody triangle. These triangles are they're haunting me. They follow me everywhere. These bloody triangles. I mean, obviously, I'm placing that there. Who knows what that's going to do? So if this was the E, like completed, what did that mean? Well, that means we'd be expecting a Y wave, like I was before, a Y wave to come down here, and the Y wave has got to start, it's got to start coming down here, and it's kind of just going sideways. So it kind of doesn't really, it's not what we would expect, because like price really does tend to really, explode's a strong word, but there's usually a strong move out of a triangle correction, because price, the psychology behind a correction that's condensing is the buyers and sellers are just getting closer and closer together, and it's kind of like the energy is like it's getting ready to pop. So that's why if this was a triangle correction, and this is why I was kind of hoping for, that's a lie. Good traders don't hope. There's no hope. It's just but I'd be like wanting to see like a bit of a pop out the bottom of this, and if it's completed the E and it's just kind of messing around like this, it's not really what you're going to see, just messing around. Could be wrong, but so I might might save this in a folder and go, okay, well let's watch, see what happens. I'm not seeing any kind of obvious trading opportunities because of this action here. If this is the E, obviously if this was the E, then you might want to look at a short position. But looking at this action here, this is kind of, I want to kind of see what's going to happen here, So with the current wave count, kind of undetermined. If this is, I mean, look, I can see, yeah, I can't see an impulse here. This is corrective, right? 1, 2, 3, ABC, corrective. And this move here is corrective as well. So, and this one, yeah, so we've got like, it looks like an A, B, C, D, you know, it looks like a corrective structure. So let's just, this is like a clue. If we're Columbo or Sherlock Holmes, you know, we found a glove with a blood stain on the floor. You know, it's like, curious. So we found a fingerprint. You know, we don't know who the fingerprint belongs to yet. We've just found something. We just keep an eye. We go, okay, well, that looks like a corrective triangle there. I don't know what that means yet. And I've just placed this arbitrarily. We don't know what's going to happen here. This might be, you know, who knows where that's going to go. But we can just keep that there for now and just keep an eye on it. Right? There's a blood stain on the wall. There's a message on the wall in blood saying Hugo did it. That guy. That's not that obvious. So I don't think that's the end of the E. Doesn't feel that. I wouldn't see like a corrective triangle pattern. Like, is that like a leading diagonal? No, that looks like a correction. Could be something else, but that's what that looks like. So, okay, could we continue with the present wave count if that's the case? Yeah, could. You know, like you could have like a W, X, and another Y again. You know what I mean? You could have like A, B, you can see, even as I'm saying it, I'm sort of forcing it, you know, A, B, C, X, A, B, C, D, E, you know. So let me just show you what I mean. Like, but even that, look at this. This is all corrective. Yeah, so for this to work, it would have to be like a W, X, and a Y of a higher degree W, and then and this would be a degree that we don't currently have access to, and then this would be a oh, that's wrong. This would be a W, A, B, C, D. We'd want to see another move down for the X, and then the Y below that, and that would be the minuscule degree like that. But then it's kind of really breaking right out of this triangle, and it doesn't. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not thinking that. Just so you can be clear, that would be the final move if that was a W, X, and a Y. But I don't think so. Again, we can keep an eye on it and see what happens. But I think that's us trying to force a wave count. So okay, what if it's not that? And by the way, we've only got like it's an hour live stream for the first one. We can play around with times later, but this is going to be a short live stream just to sort of test things out. So we've only got another like 8 minutes or so. We've got 6 minutes, but I know we started a little bit late because we were waiting for people to show up. So I'll go on for another 10 minutes, guys. All right, and hopefully, as short as this is, it's still enjoyable. So given that, it's like I would want to then step back again and go, okay, I think I'm not feeling great about that. I think there's something else going on. We are getting, there is a condensing, even though we've got this movement here, even the fact that this little triangle kind of pattern, there is a condensing. There's this like vibration that's going right. So there is this kind of energy condensation, if that's the word that I'm going to make up. So I'm kind of feeling that there's something about that, but I wonder if it's just something different to what I've done here. So I wonder, because I've got here a W and an X, and I think I can really see a really clear, an ABC structure here. Really, that to me is actually really nice. And when you see something quite like a really nice correction, really nice, and all sort of nicely contained within a nice ABC. Obviously didn't reach the end there, but really nice, ABC correction. And then we get this. Then it starts to go crazy, and from that point, it starts to go crazy. So this W wave I've got here is obviously really big, but I can't see any other way to do this. We've got this insane move here, and then it's just there's all this corrective pattern. So I've got here this entire thing as, and I'm actually really happy with this, as a massive wave 1, 2, 3. Sorry, that's wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It might even be there, and then a flat correction 2. I might even go with that actually. But either way, big wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, leading diagonal in the A. I really like that. That's the only way that I would explain this move. We've got this insane wave 1, then it just condenses, completes the A wave. And then we've got a B wave there, and that B wave, I believe, is what was the retrace on that? Can you see that I'm just going back in time a little bit, just kind of retracing my steps? Yeah, so just 23.6, and we can change that to that degree. There we go. And I'll just tighten that up a bit. There we go. So there's the B wave retrace to the 23.6, and so I'm happy with that. A and B, I'm happy with that. Okay, and then we've got the C, and that to me is impulsive. There's no arguing around that. It's not perfect, but I'm seeing that as impulsive. A, B, C. Happy with that. Okay. Well, originally I think I had, because you remember I said this is, I think, the primary wave count, this is a flat correction. So we've got an A and a B. So, okay, well, we've got the, A, B, C. So that's the B, right? And I think I had the B there. But then we're expecting a C. And this isn't a C. A C is impulsive. A C is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse structure. This isn't a C. So this can't be the B. And that's why I changed this to a W of a, so the B isn't over yet. This is the B sort of, down here. So that means we've got a W, an X, and then we're expecting a Y to complete the B. So that's why I've got this as a W, right? And then I thought, okay, well then this is the X, and then we've got a Y happening here. So I wonder if, let's get rid of that again. I wonder if the X is still in play. Is this whole thing an X? And then we're just waiting for this correction to happen, and then we're going to have the downwards correction. I wonder. We've got an ABC. So is that ABC a lower degree W? But then even if this was the X, we would be expecting a same thing. We'd be expecting a W and an X, but then a Y upwards rather than a Y downwards. We'd be expecting a W, X, and a Y upwards. Where with the other wave count, it's an X, and then I've got a W, X, and then a Y downwards. So we've got two double combo ideas, one where the price goes up and one where the price goes down. But this isn't happening. So let's play with the other idea that this is all an X, which would make more sense given the duration and depth of the W. So let's play with the idea that this whole crazy mess here is all still the X. Well, I like this action here. I like this this ABC. That feels like a nice clean correction there, which means that we'd have a W. And this is where you'd want to save all this in a folder, and then you've got it, and then you want to sort of do it again. But just for you guys, for today, doesn't really matter too much. So we'd have a W in, I'm going to change that degree in a second, and I'll probably play with that, the X, and then we've got the Y, whatever. So let's just place that up there. And that degree is, we've run out of degrees. No, hang on, is that right? Yeah, that is minuscule. Hang on. W, X, is that right? Yes, I thought so. Yeah, that's subminuet. Okay, so the subminuet, so below subminuet, we've got micro. Okay, cool. And then that means that the degrees here, we've got to bring these a degree down to submicro. And then the degrees below that, we've got to then bring down to the minuscule. Oh. I color my impulses and corrections slightly different colors. And that's going to be minuscule as well. And those got to be minuscule as well. Okay, so then we've got an A and a B and a C, and I've got to do the same thing there. Bring that down. So, okay, A, B, C, completing the higher degree W wave. And then I've got an A, B, C, and instead of that being the X, so W and then X down here. Sorry, so, where are we? W, there's the X. So what's this? Oh, okay, that was the previous wave count. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so now we've got a W and then an X and then looking for a Y. So if this is the X, then this would mean, well, this would have to go a degree lower. By the way, is this helping? Are you guys enjoying this? You guys even watching? Let me know in the chat. That would start there. And in fact, yeah, this would be even a degree lower. Carlos says, sure. Daniel says, fascinating. Good stuff. So that would be the A. That would be the beginning of the triangle here. A. And then we've got the B would be here. And then let's say the C is here. Where is the C? There it is. The C is there. The D. It's all about the D. There's the D, and that would place the E right there. And that would have to be, we've run out of degrees again, so that'll be there. And let's get rid of that. Tony says yes, massively. Shirley says yes, thanks. It's great. Carlos says great stuff, Andy. Ferrant says yes, but it's flying above my head. I'm only on module 7. Yeah, you'll get there. It's all good. Christopher says it's great. Great stuff, Andy. I've got a chip. Catch you next time. Yeah, cool, man. Cheers for hanging out. So if this is correct, then A, B, C, D, E. Kind of would probably prefer that there, maybe. So I'm going to wrap up. For those of you who have to go, I'm going to wrap this up very, very soon. So don't worry. Just want to kind of complete this thought, right? So I kind of feel like that's where I would probably go with this, like this one wave count. So I've got an A, B, C, D. Actually, let me just play with this a second. Yeah, because the A would connect with the C. That's the thing, and then we'd have we'd have that structure that I said. But then the E wave is popping at the bottom. Hey, but that can happen. So okay, so the D could go either there or there. But let's just place it there, because then I think we've got us a bit. Yes. Well, let's stick with what we've played around with. Okay, so if that was the E here, and that means we'd be expecting a Y wave going upwards, well, that means we might end up with the same thing that I was playing around with just now, except now we've got, if that's the Y, what degree is that? WX, and that is micro. That means that's going to be sub-micro. So we'll be looking at a W, and then this could be a triangle X, and it's going in the right direction. So WX. Okay, so based on this, A, B, C, D, E, if this is true, what we'd be expecting is, I kind of feel like, I suppose that would be the E there, wouldn't it? Either way, we'd have to go into the lower degrees, check it out. Just with all this like corrective stuff. So if we've got that's the W, if that's the X, and then we've got the Y, then I suppose we'd be looking at yeah, kind of just a little, not a big move, but the little move up there, which would complete the Y, which is a little move. WX, little Y. But that could be a lower degree thing, and then we've got maybe a lower degree W, another X, and then we've got a Y upwards. So I'm going to leave it there, but this is something where, you know, whenever you see this kind of condensing pattern here, I would expect a little break to the upside with this, the fact that it's kind of climbed up above this market structure here. It's climbed up initially below, but it didn't break out down the bottom of this, and it's kind of still sitting between, you know, a lot of these key market structure areas. So you know, it's sitting below that. It's still sitting below that, but it didn't go down as low as, you know, as this, and, you know, all this. So it's still kind of trying to work out what's going on. But this triangle is angled upwards slightly, although that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go up. But it, you know, it did try going down, and it didn't break down below this this market structure here. And you know, so probability wise, I would say it is going to pop this way. We'll see what happens, and we can have a look at this tomorrow. But then after that, if this is just, you know, I wouldn't expect it to be exploding upwards from this based on what we're looking at. So I'm not seeing any kind of opportunities at the moment. I mean, I wouldn't personally trade a little move like that. It's not enough. I mean, it's just not. Like with this move, I was hoping for a big old move down here. So for me, for scalpers out there, you might enjoy these little moves, but it's just not enough for me to. And also the nearest market structure that we would, I mean, if we're looking at an A, B, C, D, E, you could put the stop here, but it's just a bit too crazy. There's a bit too much craziness going on. If we had like a really a clean impulse move, you know, strong wave 3, and we got like a wave 4, you know, triangle, then yeah, that's beautiful. That's what you want, right? Because there's a lot of, you can kind of make out what's going on. But yeah, there's a triangle, but with everything else going on and all this craziness, yeah, it's right now I don't see any trading opportunities, at least with this time I've spent on this chart, which is not an insane amount of time. So yes, I'll wrap it up there. So hopefully you guys, and it looks like you guys have enjoyed that for whatever that was worth. I know a lot of you haven't even got to the point where you're you've learned the things that I'm talking about, but there's nothing you know we can really do to help that. There's people watching this who are at different parts of the course, and as this community grows, there's going to be people who are on module 24 in the future, and people who've just started, you know, and that's okay. It's okay to hang out and not know exactly what's going to happen, what I'm talking about, but just soak up the logic chains, and the way of thinking. Jesse says, thanks, Andy. Great to watch the thought process. Tony says, thank you so much, Andy, for taking the time to go through this. It really does help me to begin to glue all the module knowledge together and get a feel for how you navigate the charts and where the market could be heading. Marcus says, thanks, Andy. Shirley, this was so useful. Thanks, Andy. Really cements the modules. Nice. Cool. Daniel says, thanks, Andy. Had a great time. Wicked. So look, I'm going to do this every single Monday now, right? Every single Monday, the same time. And in the future, we can start to develop it, make it a bit more fun, make it a bit more into a show. Maybe it'll be more than an hour. We can bring on, Shaman, and bring on other people. We can have some interesting, fun things, get you guys more involved, have some competitions. So turn it into like a proper, nice little fun thing. But for now, just boring. Listen to me talk and look at, look at wave counts. So I'm going to stop sharing now. And now you're back to my beautiful face. And that's it. That's it. So cheers, guys. Cheers for showing up. There's 21 people who showed up. Oh, I've got here on my phone, it says 58 people. Maybe that means like in total over the course of the entire stream, 58 people showed up. That's pretty cool. But right now it shows there's 21 people live. So but yeah, I think that went pretty well. I'll do this every single Monday. So for those of you who just today joined this new Lines community platform, hang around, stay here, have a little look around. We're going to be, it's still kind of new, and there's still like not a lot of activity, but you guys are here, so start posting, start chatting to people, start posting in the topics. If you've got any suggestions for different topics, let me know. This is our community. This is your community. So anything that you think can improve it, let me know, and we can work at making it better. Terry says thanks. Robin says cheers. Jana says wow. Ferent says thanks. I've been doing some wave counts with my basic knowledge of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC, ABCDE, and now this explains why the markets are not making any sense to me right now. Yeah. If the markets aren't making sense to you, you're in a correction, right? And if they're making absolutely no sense, you're probably in a correction inception. You're in a correction within correction within a correction. So wicked. All right, nice one, guys. That was fun. I'll see you inside the community. I'll see you in the chat. I'll see you inside the Lines community, and I'll be with you like this again next Monday for the next Wavecast. See you guys later.